Hi, it's Rob from the Bobsphere, and it's time for November wrap-up. It was my birthday month, and yeah, it was a really good reading one, considering I had 2 bad months due to life changes, etc., etc. So I read 16 books, and well, let's get through them. I'll try to be as brief as I possibly can. I read 4 in Maltese, which is very good. How many review copies? Well, some those Maltese ones were review copies. One. Other than that, in English, I read 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 review copies in English. So I'm just going to say my favorite book. There's no particular order except for my favorite book. That will be the very last one. So let's start. Okay, the review is going to be out tomorrow on Monday. This is Pupa by J.O. Morgan. It's a book that takes place in a sort of alternative universe where there's these creatures like larvas, and then they have a choice to develop into further, well, human beings. But one wants to stay where he is, the other one wants to move on. It's a book about friendship. It's very well written. If you're a fan of Ishiguro, I do the plot structure and the writing is very similar. This is a very well written book by the amazing Henningham Family Press. Okay, here we go. Gruff Rice, American Interior. I am a fan of Super Free Animals and Neon and Gruff Rice's solo work. I sort of had to get this book. It's a very playful account of Gruff trying to recreate John Evans, a 18th century explorer, travels in America, and it's about, well, undisturbed country, about tribes, things like that. It's a very fun book. Okay, next. Mit Elf Ism Ihor, 100,000 different names. I've read quite a few books about internet culture, but actually, this young adult book is one of the best I've read. It's about an influencer and how her life is not really as it seems on the camera, because it juxtaposes that with a person who's struggling in real life. It's how we can use internet as an escape, how it can be used as a tool, good and bad. Very clever, very fun. I liked it. Next, Whisper by Chang Yu Ko, translated by Roddy Flagg. Now I dropped a bookmark. Blah blah. Okay. So this one, well, it's by Huntford Star, a press I really enjoy. It's a horror novel, but really is a political book. It's about this person who hears whispering, and eventually she dies. So this taxi driver husband tries to solve the mystery of the whispering. He goes back into the history of the Japanese colonization of Taiwan. It works on many levels. This is not just a horror book, trust me. This is a highly political one. It's brilliant. It's well translated. Anything by Huntford Star is now good. So, get it. Next. Okay, this one took a couple of months to read, because with Pinchin I always... Sorry, because the books are sliding onto my cat. I've got a new cat, by the way. She's a calico called Snickers. Anyway, we've had her now for a month and a half. Anyway, she's 7 years old. Yeah, she's a cutie. Very fluffy too. Anyway, so I have Pinchin. I usually have to read him in 10-page gaps, so this took a couple of months to read. It's not his best, definitely not. It's more like a denser version of Inherent Vice. So it's about this 60s keyboardist who is commissioned to look for his wife, who's a narc, while his daughter wants to find out more about her mother as well. So it leads to a kind of wild goose chase. It's about a lost era and how materialism changed it. It's very readable for a Pynchon book. I know I said dense and took me a long time, but this could almost be a Goldsmith's level novel. Especially the beginning. The beginning is fantastic. Some of the best things I've read from him. Anyway, if you're a fan, yeah, read it. If you're a beginner, approach with a bit of caution. It could be seen as a beginner Pynchon book. I'll say that. Just loses stamina just a little bit towards the middle. But it's okay. It's okay. Right, Pynchon's incapable of writing a bad book. Okay, the stinker of the month. The Cockroach. This is a Brexit satire. It's absolute garbage. It is not worth your time. Don't bother. Next, Tom Hanks. Yes, the Tom Hanks, the actor. He has written a short story collection. This came out a few years ago. It's okay. It's not brilliant. Some stories are very good. Some stories aren't. They're all connected by typewriters. To be honest, there's only two I remember. The first one, which is about a failed relationship. Oh, my door is opening, which could mean I have another cat as well. Yes, isn't it spooky when a door opens on your own and you're... Can you imagine if a monster just comes up? But it's my cat. I've got another cat called Oreo. Yeah, maybe he'll make an appearance. We'll see. He's kind of thin. Anyway. He's a tuxedo cat with a huge fluffy tail. Anyway, and he's been with us for 3 weeks. And these two, they're from the same litter. There's a long backstory between these two. I'm not going to go into it. Maybe one day. Anyway, Tom Hanks. It's okay. It's okay. Not amazing. Not amazing. It's not worth it, to be honest. But exactly. Yeah, it exists. Okay, Frahmetti. The Maltese books I reviewed this month were really, really good. I can only praise them highly. So Frahmetti by Tyrone Grima. It's about a man who wakes up and he finds out that everyone else has disappeared on the planet except for one person. So this could be a metaphor for his own, because we find out about his past. We found out that maybe this emptiness of the world is a metaphor for the emptiness he feels in his heart for his boyfriend who's left. So yes, it's an LGBTQ one. There are more of these cropping up in Malta. It's very, very good. Excellent, I would say. Really worth a read, if you can read the language. Okay, Cockfight. Lots of short story collections this month as well. This is a short story collection from South America. I love South American writing. It's not politically correct. Doesn't mean I don't like politically correct stuff, but I do like to be shocked. These things will unsettle you, but it's absolutely brilliant. This is by Maria Fernanda Ampuero, and it's translated by Francis Riddle. I'm really glad that they put the translator on the cover. These are just eerie short stories. Very good, by the ever-reliable Influx Press. Read it, enjoy it, you'll love it. Now, a children's book. So Claire Azzopardi in Maltese literature is one of the most well-known authors. She writes a lot of children's books, but she has written for adults, and apparently those are excellent, but I haven't gotten around to them yet. They're actually right there in front of me. Anyway, this is part of a trilogy. I finally got around to reading the third one. It's about the adventures of this man who tries to destroy a school. But he keeps on getting outsmarted. Now, don't be fooled. These books are filled with more postmodern tricks than your average, experimental novel. I mean, different narrators, extra chapters, bonus chapters. There's a letter as well. The author converses with the audience. Footnotes are actually written on feet. Let me show you. See? So it's a very playful novel. It's the most experimental of the three, but I do say it would be the weakest story. Not to say it's bad, but compared to the other two, it's not that strong. I mean, I can see why. I don't think there'll be a fourth one in the future. Still. Okay, another short story collection. Brilliant. This is the Dolls, Ursula Scavanis. They're very and translated by. Now, Lolly are putting a translator on the cover. Translated by Jennifer Russell. It's a Lolly book. I like Lolly. They can never do any wrong. These are just darkish, realist short stories. Excellent. The first one is The Standout. Yeah, I really like it. Lolly strike again. They never get it wrong. Okay, this was the Republic of Conscious winner 2020. This was unlike anything I've ever read before. This is Lot. It's about a person doing some research in a library, and she discovers a character called, I have to read the back for that, Hermia Druitt, who is part of the Bright Young Things. It's also a book about attitudes towards trans people. There's alchemy, there's magic. It's a lot. It's an everything book. It has its own particular writing style as well. So it is an experimental novel, but it will blow your mind. Like I said, you've never read anything like this. Okay, how to be a public author. We're soon reaching the end. This is by Francis Plug. Now, if people don't know, I am now choosing my books using a TBR jar. I was hoping for a lot of Galley Bigger Press, because I do have a ton this month, but it didn't happen. It's the only one. Anyway, this is about a man who's writing a guide on how to act like an author in public. And in order to do that, you have to, well, he decides to observe Booker winners and get the book signed, and of course this leads to a disaster each time. It's a bit repetitive. It is a funny book. I think it could be a bit shorter, but yeah, it was a fun read. We all need fun reads. Mushnis, another one of Maltese by Jean-Paul Borge. Mushnis means not people, but there's a deeper meaning because in Maltese language you can tend to call someone who's uneducated or a savage. Mushnis is not, they don't belong in the human race. And these short stories talk about people who don't really belong in the human race. It starts off in, there's a turning point. Half of it concerns relationships, and then the other half gets more political. It's about the problems that exist in this island, like our attitudes toward races. It's good. It's a first section. It's a first collection. Hopefully there'll be more. The writing's great. It's very detailed but concise at the same time. Penultimate one. So this is Chouette. This is another book about motherhood that I've read many over the past 2 years, but this is a highly metaphorical one about a woman who gives birth, I think she gives birth to an owl. That's all I'll say. It was quite a read. It's unique. It's a very unique take. And last, the book of the month. And we're 13 minutes in, so not bad timing. For 16 books, Dennis Johnson's Train Dreams. In 116 pages, it spans 8 decades in the life of a railroad worker. Feral children, deaths, murders, everything. It's so well written. Highly, 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 highly recommended. And that's it. That's my November. Hope you enjoyed that. Like, subscribe. How was your reading month? Comment. I will answer, etc., etc. So goodbye.